Hello again, you extraordinary subscribers. Welcome back, everybody. HemingwayLand.com, your source, quality, affordable land. This is our preview, the weekly preview of all the properties going live on the website tonight. I will never do that again, but nonetheless, guys, 10/29/21, these are the properties premiering this week. Before we get started on that, do want to say that today, 29th of October, is Nevada Day. So to everybody from Laughlin to Winnemucca and all points in between, happy Nevada Day, people. Take note, everybody, I pronounced it Nevada and not Nevada, which is not how the state is pronounced. FYI. Anyway, that's topic number one. Topic number two, as we're rapidly approaching the end of the year, we've got like another 5 weeks of property debuts to go before we take our winter break. Which I am very much looking forward to. Anyway, it's funny how many properties have been pushed into January within the last couple of weeks, either because we can't get them out of escrow, title company mishigas, or because apparently the sun will not shine in certain parts of certain places. Whatever the case, we are putting together. Also, I will tell you guys, we're putting together this list, but there's only a finite amount of research that can be done in the course of 7 days on zoning and property owners associations, and then write the listing pages, and then record these fantastic videos, which everybody loves, I'm sure. Anyway, that's topic number two. And topic number three, obviously we got land in Arizona this week from the thumbnail on the video, from this state flag that we're staring at here. I just wanted to say, as we were putting together this Arizona page a couple weeks ago, it occurred to me that Arizona and New Mexico, two territories that joined the Union roughly around the same time, 1912, have very dynamic, very bold flags, and it made me think that something occurred in the art of flag design around the early part of the last century that was looking to differentiate itself from previous state flags, more, let's say, boring state flags of 100 years earlier, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, right? I'd like somebody, if anybody knows anything about the history of flag design, yes, I'm actually talking about this here in the video because I'm such a cool guy. If anybody knows anything about this, leave a comment in the YouTube section, because these flags, I love them. They're great. They're so dynamic. They're so bold. They look fantastic, and much better than most of the rest of the flags in the country. Anyway, there you go. All right, people, before we begin, do want to thank all those who bought land from us this past week. In Luna County, that list includes Robert. In Socorro County, that list is Jeff, Jason, and John. And in Cibola County, just tonight, we have Harold, who put down a earnest money deposit on one of our properties out there in Fence Lake Ranch. Presumably, we will be closing through a title company with Harold. Whatever the case, I have not yet been able to get him on the phone. That's on my to-do list for tomorrow. Anyway, with all that said, guys, new properties going live on the website this week. First up, boom, we are back in Arizona this week, more specifically in a new county, Yavapai County right here, and even more specifically in the Sierra Verde Ranch. This is one of these large, sprawling properties like we listed last week. Almost 40 acres, 39.5 to be exact, priced $1,000 an acre here, guys, $39,000. And as you can see from the headline, this one's a pre-staked property. It has well access, community well access. This, of course, are two instances of big savings to you because, number one, you won't have to get the property surveyed and staked. It's been done for you, and that, of course, is more expensive on a 40-acre property. And number two, the community well, of course, means that you will not have to drill your own well. This, of course, is even better if you're going to be using the property seasonally. For instance, if you're a hunter, all of my research seems to indicate that a lot of hunters buy land in this region because you are so close to national forests. So if you are there just 3 months of the year, you don't have to drill a whatever $20,000, $30,000 well. You could just drive down the road, pick up some water there, truck it back to the property, and do that for the 30 or 45 days that you're there. Not a bad deal. Anyway, guys, pulling this one up on the map. As noted, it's in Yavapai County, which is really the central portion of the state right here, but the northern boundary of that county is up here by the I-40, and this subdivision sits just south of the I-40, roughly in, I don't know, all of this region right here. It's a massive subdivision, occupies a lot of space. So this property is pretty close to the land that we listed last week. That land in Coconino County is about a half hour shy of the Grand Canyon. This one is about an hour southwest of the Grand Canyon. Whatever the case, you are in pretty close proximity to that, as well as about 24 national parks that are out here. Plenty of great places to see. The points of interest on these pages alone, these listing pages alone, are quite massive, and we still leave out like 15 or 20 things that are, worth seeing and doing. blah, blah, blah. Most notably, however, because I was talking about hunters before, we got 123 National Forest nearby. Coconino National Forest, 1.8 million acres. The Kaibub, according to Google pronunciation, Kaibub National Forest up here, 1.6 million. And now Prescott National Forest here in Yavapai County, 1.2 million acres to picnic and camp and trails and hunt things, all right there in the backyard of the property. It should also be noted, guys, you're about an hour east of Kingman over here and about an hour west of Flagstaff over here. Of course, being here along the I-40 corridor, you've got pretty good access to the towns of Williams and Ash Fork and Seligman. Seligman's about 5 minutes north of the subject property. But the bigger towns, the ones with Walmarts, the ones with Home Depots, the ones with presumably happening nightlife, are an hour east and an hour west, respectively. Anyway, guys, as we go in here on the subject property, as you can see, you're coming right here off the highway. You're taking this road down, which is called Williamson Valley Road, and then you're banging a right turn out here to the subject property. This 40-acre lot is out here. Let me pull up some pictures and give you guys a sense of this. So, as noted, we got a pre-staked lot. We've got community well. That means, of course, there's a property owners association out there. I do not like buying properties in these areas because you can't sell them because you guys don't like them. That being said, we make exceptions when we find that they seem completely reasonable with some pretty low dues and they leave people alone. And this one kind of fits the bill. So Sierra Verde Ranch takes care of the roads out here, which is why you have such nice road access out to the property. This one's a little bit rougher, but it's like 0.3 of a mile. So you can pretty much get down here in any type of vehicle. And then once you turn off, maybe you need a larger truck or off-road capable vehicle to get out to the subject property. Whatever the case, as we go through the photos here, guys, you will see that this is some really picturesque land out here. This is what that road frontage looks like along the southern boundary of the property, roughly about 800 feet of road frontage. And I'd love to tell you this road has a name. It doesn't. I looked at a bunch of maps. I can't find a name for this. Presumably the locals call it something, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Anyway, but the property's very nice out here. As we go through this, you'll see a couple features that I want to point out just before I talk a little bit about the POA. One, this is one of the property boundary markers. Here's the second one. But again, you won't have to get the property surveyed. There is a path of seasonal water flow here at the southern end of the property. I'll show you that a little bit more in just a bit, but the point is that you do have a little bit of an arroyo that cuts through the southern end of the property. Not too bad. Anyway, as we go through these, this POA, the Sierra Verde Ranch POA, it seems like, so based on the covenants and restrictions, they don't even really enumerate anything about RVs, mobile homes, modular homes, minimum square footage. I mean, that's how kind of laid back and how, how few rules they're dictating out there. Additionally, of course, because it's 40 acres, most likely you're going to be able to do a lot of things, even if they're not, officially allowed and nobody's really going to know or see you. You've got some developed home sites out here, but not a lot of neighbors. So, of course, a lot of privacy in this region and, excellent property use if you're going to develop it either as a mini ranch or as a kind of seasonal vacation spot because you are in such close proximity to all these national parks that are out here. Or, again, as a hunting property. Again, my research keeps showing me that a lot of hunters come out here, buy land in this region, and use it, I presume, just certain periods of the year, either hunting cabin type of thing or as like a base camp. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever the case, I should point out, guys, that as you go through these photos and you get up to the northern part of the property has a bit of a kind of a minor slope to it, but once you get up here to the north, this is where it kind of plateaus off, so probably the best spot to build, number one, because of that, and number two, because of the views that you do have of the surrounding valleys, the mountains, the foothills that are out here. This is what you see from this northern end of the property. So just a really picturesque region. In regards to the community wells, of course, that's maintained by the POA, and the annual dues on this property, you need an abacus to figure it out. They don't have just a set number. It's a formula, but the formula shakes out to like $130.35 for these 40 acres, which is not bad. I mean, what is that, $10 a month, basically, in POA dues is what you're paying for access to these wells and whatnot. Anyway, guys, this is the property. This is the size, shape, footprint. This is the path of seasonal water flow, quote unquote, that I was talking about down here along the southern portion. But anyway, yeah, so that's the property out there in Yavapai County. I anticipate that we will have a lot more in this region and within Arizona itself throughout 2022. Moving right along, guys, we're back in New Mexico for the rest of these properties. We finally got some land out here again in Rio Rancho. 3 properties, more toward the western end of the subdivision. In Units 1, Units 3, and Units 4, these are some 1, and we got a couple 2-acre properties here, priced respectively between $1,500 and $3,500. Of course, it's really hard to find 2-acre properties, 2 adjacent 1-acre lots out here, so those are a scooch more expensive. Whatever the case, guys, as always, we got the spreadsheet queued up here because this will be active with the new properties on it. Plat maps, GPS coordinates included, so you can look these up, etc. Starting off, guys, we've got SNM 5375. This is in Unit 1, Block 94, lots 11 and 12. This one's 2 acres, $3,500. As you can see, as I mentioned earlier, developments over here, western end of the subdivisions over here. So, of course, this is a region where there's, what's the word for it? Well, no power. There's no power at the lot lines, basically what I'm saying. Power extends out to about here, and then it stops. So, of course, this is a more property more suitable for solar use, let's say. And, of course, a lot of privacy, but you're still only about 5 or 7 miles from the developed portion of town. So easy runs into town to get whatever you need, you know, grocery supplies, medication, what have you, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's the first one. The second one, S&M 6219. That's our 1-acre property in Unit 3. This one, of course, is priced at $1,500, way at the southwest portion of the subdivision, basically where Rio Rancho ends and the foothills begin over here. And this, I'm not entirely certain what this land is out here. I want to say it's at the very least state land or something. Anyway, this property's up here. Again, no power at the lot line, power not anywhere close. So a more solar-friendly property, quote-unquote, as we like to call them. And finally, guys, the last 2-acre property, S&M 7358 in Unit 4. This one priced at $3,500. This one is scooch closer to development over here, but still all of them are in this more remote area. More privacy, less taxes, so on and so forth. We get so many requests about land in Rio Rancho that I will pretty much buy anything and list it out here. So anyway, point being, guys, 3 new lots out here, Rio Rancho this week, and more large sprawling acreage in Yavapai County in Arizona out by all the national parks. So a lot of good stuff going live this week and more to come in the month of November, and the stuff bleeding over into January, also very good. We got a lot of things going live over the next couple months, and a lot of money being spent on more properties in more states. So anyway, guys, that's the pitch for this weekend. Thanks as always for watching. Happy Nevada Day once again, and we will see you in next week's video.